Today's episode, we will start a little different. Hold on to that idea. Be different. Good evening, everyone. Since the beginning of human history, one thing has always driven us forward: the desire to communicate. From the earliest cave paintings to spoken language, from smoke signals and hieroglyphics to letters carried by pigeons, humanity has continuously searched for better ways to connect with one another. Over time, those methods evolved into the telephone, cellular networks, satellite communications, and now the rapidly expanding world of artificial intelligence. Now, how does this apply to your live selling business, you may ask? Technology has never simply been about machines. It has been about bringing people closer together, sharing ideas faster, and expanding what is possible. And if history has taught us anything, it is that innovation never truly stops. As we stand at the edge of new technological breakthroughs, we are once again challenged to imagine how communication will continue to evolve in the future. Today, we see this evolution happening in real time through online live selling platforms. Commerce is no longer limited to physical stores or even traditional websites. Sellers and buyers now interact instantly through live video, chat, auctions, and digital communities that create a more personal and interactive shopping experience. Platforms like Whatnot, eBay, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, TikTok Shop, and District are transforming the way people buy, sell, and communicate across the world. What makes these platforms so powerful is not just the technology itself, but the human connection behind it. A seller can present an item live to thousands of viewers, answer questions instantly, build trust, create entertainment, and close sales within seconds, something that would have seemed impossible just a few decades ago. These emerging technologies are blending communication, community, entertainment, and commerce into a single experience, and they continue to evolve every day. As new platforms emerge and artificial intelligence becomes more integrated into these systems, the future of live commerce will likely become even faster, smarter, and more interactive. The question is no longer whether technology will continue to change communication and business. It is how prepared we are to adapt and grow alongside it.
Welcome to Reselling Roundtable, episode 18. This episode is for the technology. What about technology and how do you use it? What do you use? And what do you need? So I got a little bit of feedback on the audio. I don't know if you have some audio going on over there. Yeah, Tony is amazing. Wait until you see. There he is.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, Miss Kay, this is the wizard. This is the wizard. Absolutely. A little different, right? How you doing for getting up?
That was cool, Noel. I had never seen that video. That was really cool.
Yeah, well, I prepared a little introduction for you guys. I did a little, I put a little bit of work for the technology side. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And for those of you who didn't see it or who didn't get a chance to see it, maybe later on we can play it again.
All right. So let me apologize before we kick this thing off real quick for me being double screened. Hopefully Tony will show up here any minute, but we're moving out of the house. I had 2 post office vehicles break down on me today, so I just got back in from the post office, and we might have forgot it was Sunday. And I'm sure the wizard over there will explain some more technology as we get into this podcast. Oh, look, there's Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
We have a podcast.
I know.
Tony's here. But you can't, he'll explain it, but you can't just instantly change it from the 4 tiles to the 3. So you get 2 of me for the start of this. Oh, look. There's the real Tony.
Hi. Yeah, it's on separate or something.
Can you
Oh,
swing the
there you
phone
go.
a little bit more to your right? There it is. A little bit more.
So if you guys haven't caught on yet, tonight's topic is technology. We're going to be talking
And
about.
we are failing miserably.
I've
Well,
just been
Tony
sitting
and
over
I
here
are.
waiting. We're going to be talking about the very basics. What do you need to run a very basic live show, which is where I'm at, because while my husband may be the wizard, I can't work my own remote control. So I'm going to give you guys a rundown on the easy stuff, and then we'll get into more advanced things. Plus I wrote like a few notes here of just a whole bunch of other topics that maybe aren't tech, but really do relate back to your tech during your shows. So with that, which one of you want to kick it off and talk about what is on your mind with tech?
So, as you can see with the introduction, for the longest time throughout human history, the need of communication has been in the forefront of humanity, and we have been evolving different ways to communicate, from smoke signals all the way to satellite now, and then with the birth of artificial intelligence now, the possibilities are going to start to be even more complex. The concept is the same. So, for how does this translate to your shows? What type of technology do you use? And in the introduction, I threw in the idea of, it's mind blowing. Absolutely, yes. And the idea is to be different. And what would you want to be different? And I think it's more than difference, is to be unique. And the uniqueness of who you are and how you communicate, not just with the people that surround you, but in this case with your audience, is very important. And that translates to a lot of different things in terms of how do you maintain the room, how many people are coming into the shows, and if this is going to help you grow or probably just stay in a certain level. So technology is something that is a little bit sometimes challenging, not difficult, but challenging. I've been doing this for 30 years, or probably over 30 years. My background is in computer science, so I'm a computer science major, and I used to program a lot of different things. And like Tabitha said, yes, in the last, not even in the last 100, in the last 50 years, we're not going that far. The way the technology has evolved is mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. Just this past week, I was playing around with a tiny little computer that allows me to install.
Sorry.
Thank you, Tracy.
You know I'm going to get in trouble for that after the show.
Oh my God, that was fantastic.
So as you can see, technology can be very good or very disruptive. So in this
All my phones off.
case, every time. Sometimes, yes, it does. So it can be very helpful. Bare minimum, I think Tracy wants to address what initially she started using when we started on Whatnot. And later on, I'll talk a little bit more about the equipment that we have and how we use it, and the possibilities that you have to be able to achieve some of the things that you might see us do, or if you're even curious to see how does this work, how is it that we have Tony and Lysandra in Kentucky, and then when Jeremy's here, he's in his house in Lancaster, and then we're in South of York. And then if Tracy goes away, if she's in Dallas or she's somewhere else, I can bring in her into the video and to the show, and then send it out to broadcast. So it's quite interesting. So I'll leave it to Tracy to start talking about it.
All right, so I get a turn now. I think my perspective on this is going to be a little bit different. So they're making me laugh, y'all. It is one of those nights. I think with Jeremy gone, we're like little kids, like without a teacher here.
It's a free for all.
It is a free for all with
It's a
Jeremy
free
not
for all.
being here. So I think I'm going to bring a little bit different perspective. I don't know. I haven't heard what Tony or Lysandra have to say yet, but when I think about technology and our shows and just in reselling in general, I go to the static listing mindset and the live selling mindset where, for so long, all you needed was a camera or a phone to take pictures to list, where then you come to a whatnot setting or any other type of live selling. And now you have this camera here. And I think there's some pros and cons to that maybe relates to the technology. It relates to now we have video. Now instead of just seeing a static picture, we're actually interacting. So it lends to that social aspect. But I think there's a con to that. I think the technology has also brought the disadvantage that it makes it so easy for people that they don't realize the seriousness of what they're doing, that they don't treat it like a business, that it's more like this, hey, let's just get on and talk to my friends, versus understanding that there's some implications to what you're doing. But on the flip side of that, I also think the technology has allowed people who don't get that contact. I work from home 9 to 5, and then I do whatnot. It's very isolating. So I think on the flip side, you have this technology that allows you to actually start to connect with people and make friendships in ways that maybe you couldn't before because of it. So I'm going to listen to what everybody else says, but I'm going to kind of hang out and probably take a little bit of a different perspective, more on the psychological or the emotional side of it versus the actual physical tech side.
I would question one thing that you just said, Tracy, about the technology making it easier and not treating it like a business.
Mm-hmm.
I would, and the only reason why I question it is because I feel like that has gone on even in the static platforms.
To some degree, yeah, I think so. I just maybe it's more
you know,
evident.
most people prior to COVID, eBay and Posh and Etsy and all of these reselling sites were a side gig, right? It wasn't a real business. They did their 9 to 5s. They can list some items and make a few extra $100 a month, and it's not a real business. You control, I don't want to say that, but you control what you're doing. You limit or not limit your exposure to reselling on those static sites. You can do that with Whatnot too, but it's really geared towards more volume on Whatnot than it is on the other sites, right? So I semi disagree with technology making it easier, that people don't think of it as a business because it's so easy. I think it's the same people from eBay who did not think of it as a business, and they're over here and not realizing how much of a business it needs to be to gather the crowd, if you will. That's totally my opinion on that piece of it. I will say, from the actual technology of it, I come from a software testing background. I mean, I was a software tester for 10 years. And just the fact that I learned something crazy or stupid every week as far as technology is, I'm like, what the heck? I didn't even know you could do that. We're using an iPhone for better video quality, for crying out loud. I've never used an iPhone in my life. But we started this, honestly, with 2 phones, eventually got a Chromebook just to make it a little bit easier. I mean, we were very simplistic in our technological utilizations for whatnot, and we grew that into something pretty crazy, very simplistically, right? All of these other little things that we've had. Oh, look at her, she keeps moving me
You're off center and it's driving me
again.
nuts.
I'm sorry. Here, how's this? I'll sit up, and there you go. I'm sorry. Her ADD's going nuts on it. But we started off very simplistic. A phone for me to run off of, a phone for her to engage and run as a duo, and then grabbed a Chromebook later when we started looking up orders and running the cube method. We still haven't gotten into anything really more than that. Do I want to? Yeah. Well, do I want to use OBS? I think I haven't gotten there yet. I think I want to, but do I really want to? I don't know. Maybe I'll learn it and run it a few shows and see if it's something that I really want to mess with, especially now that we're backtracking and I'm becoming more of a single seller rather than the duo. But that's kind of where we're at right now and what we've done to start with whatnot. What you got?
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I am with you on that one.
So I don't think, for anybody that knows me, I'm not much of a planner. And just for example, Noelle had to call me at 6:12 and be like, "Are you guys ready?" I was like, "No, I didn't even know it was Sunday."
We forgot.
So
we've been so busy.
For me, I like the simplicity of just turning on your phone, and you have everything that you need to run an actual successful show. Are the graphics really cool and amazing? The things that you can do with those? Absolutely. Is Noelle the backbone of this podcast?
100%.
100%.
100%.
He truly is the wizard behind all of this, that puts us in 4 tiles and puts our logos and makes the videos. And he's also been cutting up the videos, and he's in charge of the social media. While he's not typically the person on the screen, he is like 85% of this entire podcast.
He does more work than all of us combined.
Seriously.
100%.
He does.
Kudos to Noelle.
Honestly, if Jeremy would have come to Tony and Lysandra and to Tracy without Noelle, oh my God.
I'm going to go crawl in my corner now and like hide my phone somewhere. I turned the ringer off.
I think if Jeremy would have came to Tony and Lysandra and to Tracy without Noelle and said, "Hey, do you think we could do this podcast thing?" We would have been like, "Sure," but none of us would have known where to start.
100% not.
Not even known where to start. So the fact that Noelle has all of this knowledge and can just turn it on from day one and just roll with it is amazing, right?
I will also say, and I've talked to Noelle, and he comes down an hour. I silenced all of them.
I just double checked. We're good now.
Not to mention, we're running on 2 phones, 2 separate phones for the podcast. There's literally 5 phones on this table right now.
So it wasn't me, it was her. Wait a minute, she's way over there. Anyway, so I've talked to Noelle, and he's told me about times that he typically, before their shows, he comes down an hour beforehand to test all of the technology and the computers and the mics and the cameras and all that stuff. And for me, I don't think I would be able to maintain that. It would be really cool, and I would learn it, and then I'd probably lose interest, and because I'm not about a lot of prep work. I'm just not, and I think it is amazing that Noelle puts forth all that effort to put on this great show and to help Tracy with her business and her shows on whatnot. Tracy, you're pushing it. That's funny. But I will say, we're getting ready to go to the New York meetup, and we're doing the Happy Habits Challenge. that Shop Happy 2019 is putting on.
Yep.
And one of the challenges is on Tuesday, you're supposed to test out a new thing. So since we're going to be up in Pennsylvania with Tracy and Noelle, I asked Noelle to help us run a show with OBS at their house. So
Or whatever the hell it is Noelle uses. It's not OBS.
yeah, it's not OBS.
It's not obvious, but yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm completely against it, but I'm kind of in awe of all the work that Noelle puts into this podcast, into Zoe's Treasure shows, and goodness knows what else ever he does over there with his
Okay.
wizardry magic.
I have to say it's allowed us, and this a little bit off of technology, but it's allowed us as a couple to go into a venture, each bringing our skill set and being able to combine
100%.
forces in a way that makes us both happy. I mean, I drag him into
For
working with
good
me.
or for worse.
For better or for worse, if you watch my shows, you know there's days I want to kill him. But you know, I started this business as me, and I started with my iPhone. That iPhone and a ring light, that was it. I had a little box. I wasn't even camera facing. It was, you saw my hands in the product, and that was it. After a couple of shows, look, I'm a CPA. I have a very dry sense of humor. After a few shows, he's like, "You need some help." Like literally sat me down. He's like, "You need some help."
He's like,
And-
what are you doing over
Yes.
there?
Thus came all the graphics and everything else. But it's allowed us to do something as a couple that, there's certain parts of the business only I handle and certain parts that he handles, and I can never do his job. And God forbid, if he weren't here, I would just go right back to using my iPhone. I would not have any of the stuff.
Right?
But it's also allowed us though to create a brand. I mean, because of him and because of the graphics, that's our brand. That's
100%.
who we've become known for, or what we've become known for. So it's been great for us as a business. It's not necessary. And I do feel when I do seller support shows, I feel a little bit like I have to explain that all the time. Like, you don't need this. Like, you can do this with the phone. You can be successful with just a phone. So I feel like I always have to kind of give a disclaimer when we start talking technology.
So these are nice to haves, not required, but they are very cool and will help you stand out.
Yes.
So let me explain a little bit more. You, Lisandra, you talk about me coming down an hour beforehand to test everything, and let me tell you, that's nothing. An hour beforehand is because everything's already connected, and I don't have to do anything in terms of rigging. When I used to, yes, thank you, Debbie. When I used to run events on my old job, it was not 1 hour; it was a full day, and I'm talking about 10 to 12 hours beforehand, because I have to travel with bags. I don't know the venue. I don't know what is that I was going into and facing. And so I needed to go in there, explore the location, get the feel for it, find out if there's echo, minimize the echo for the audio, if it's going to be a live event and people are going to be sitting, where they're going to be sitting. If they're going to stand up, I don't want them to stand up and knock my camera out of the way, because my camera, the ones that I used for my job, was a $2,000-$3,000 camera. And so if that happened, then there goes a very expensive piece of equipment. So I don't want people to stand in front of the camera, block the angle, and then when I need to use that camera, that is completely gone. And so there was a whole more logistics to run all those events than what I have right now. I mean, I have a lot of equipment, yes, but at the same time, imagine transporting all that I have right now and make it mobile and take it to a different location that I have no idea where it is and try to make sense of everything. And then talking to the people that run the audiovisuals at that location, and half the time, it's not the right guy. It's just someone that they picked. They said, hey, you were going to help him. And then you come to find out that he doesn't know where the power cords are, or he doesn't know where things are. And so it's quite interesting. But anyways. So,
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No wonder you're willing to lug 5 cases of equipment around when you two travel to do shows.
We do, yes. So-
That's not.
And what
But
I
I
was going to
wanna-
say,
Oh, go ahead. I'll go after you, Tony.
sorry. And what I was going to say was, as much as Noelle is talking about it and the challenges of doing something on the road, the reality is not many people really understand their setup and what it looks like. And I'm hoping Noelle will kind of run through briefly, because that could literally be 2 hours. I know it can, but I'm hoping he can briefly kind of show what he's got going on in the background there. I mean, and if you're here and you're interested at all, you should see it's not just a phone and a phone stand and a ring light and a Chromebook sitting on the table. It's an entire crazy thing going on over there.
So I was going to say, as much as he talks about, setting up the camera right and considering the audience and all of that. So he was talking about live events, but how do we relate that back to Whatnot or to any other live type auction thing that you're doing on any of the other platforms? So you think about the experience you're creating. That tech is the backbone of the experience you're creating, and not just the phone, but the lighting you have, the music you have. That's all different types of technology that really goes into the experience that you create. So putting some thought. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be to the level of what my husband does, but putting some thought into what does the lighting look like? What kind of mood am I trying to set here? Are we doing, like a dark and romantic vintage, type of setting? Or we really need some really bright light so we can see every single detail of that tiny piece of jewelry. So giving some thought to the mood, the experience, and what types of equipment and technology you need to create that branded experience for your buyers. So I don't know if we want to talk about that at all, but the technology absolutely affects that mood or that vibe that you may end up being known for.
So maybe we should start with the bare basics. What do you need to run a live show, whether it be on Whatnot, TikTok, Instagram, whatever? What are the basics?
A good show, a bad show, or just a moderately decent show?
Just a show, just to go live, just before you can hit that go live button. So what? Cell phone, right?
That's it.
Cell phone, good internet. Good internet.
Yeah.
You'll never have a successful show at all unless you have some decent internet.
That's it.
Now,
95% of the people can get away with just that and be successful.
you want to step up your game a little bit because lighting matters.
Absolutely.
A ring light.
Well, ring lights.
How many ring lights do we own?
Ring lights are not the best because ring lights sometimes they're kind of harsh and they cast a lot of
I agree.
shadows. So it's having you can even get away with just a light that you can buy at your hardware store. The key and the kind of trick and the secret is to grab a bed sheet, a white bed sheet, and then drape it about a foot in front of the light. And what that's going to do is the light is gonna hit the bed sheet, and it's gonna create diffusion. So it's gonna soften off that light, but it has to have a little bit of distance in order for that light to be able to go correct. Yes, Southern Charm. If you have glasses, the ring light reflects on that.
Yeah, the
on
ring.
those glasses.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Oh, that does drive me nuts.
It does. And a trick of the trade that I learned from my husband, which I actually use on my 9-to-5 job for video calls, is you can actually diffuse your ring light too. So you could take an old white
Yep.
t-shirt and put it on top of that ring light, and that diffuses your ring light. So it does cut back on some of that glasses glare and some of those other types of issues that you may get. So that's a little
Tony
tech
just
secret.
learned something that will probably be used.
You gonna start throwing T-shirts on your ring light?
Well, I mean, the diffuser. I mean, to
We
be
don't-
able to diffuse the light. I don't typically do face forward things, right? But occasionally I do. And if I want to show a product and I flip that light towards me, I know the light's going to hit my glasses, right? That is definitely something. And I'll play around with the diffuser and seeing the lighting, because we always have trouble with the lighting for the jewelry.
Well, the diffuser is
Honestly.
going to help you a lot more, because what's going to do is it's going to project the light into a larger area, and by doing that, it's going to give you a lot more light to work with. It's going to be softened,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a larger area. So it's not going
Yeah,
to
I
be
could
a
see that.
direct light, and you can think about it as a flashlight. One of those flashlights that you can pull, and then the ring goes bigger or smaller. The smaller the ring it is going to be more concentrated, and the more you open up the wide angle, is going to be softer. You're going to have a larger area that you're going to be able to shine, or to have more light. It's not going to be as strong for your lighting. So that's a very good trick. Very inexpensive.
Yeah.
Because you can go
It
to,
really is. That's
yeah, you
see,
can go
this is
to
great for us.
you can go to a secondhand store, Goodwill, and then just get yourself a used white sheet, and that's it. That's all you need. And if it's already too worn, just double it. You double it, and that's all you need. Is rather simple.
So then we said you need a phone, you need a light. I would suggest after that. So that's your basics. That's we all kind of agreed. That's your bare minimum.
Internet.
Internet too. Sorry. So 3 basics, absolute 3 basics. Then I think the next level up is having a second device. I think having a second
Yes.
device is a
Correct.
game changer. And I'm not even, we haven't even gotten to like, printers and all of that, but just having a second device to read what's going on in the chat, to reply to run stuff, so that you're not going like this on the phone and the phone's going like this and everybody's like,
Yes.
feel like they're in an earthquake watching you.
Like,
Yes. So
How'd that go again?
doing it again.
Do it again.
And you can tell, I mean, go and watch different live shows, and all of a sudden they come really close to the phone and they're going like this, and you're like, just grab your computer or something and use that, and it's so much simpler. I'm often surprised at how many people don't use a second device. There's a lot that don't, and I don't know how they do it, but maybe I'm just old and I can't see on my phone.
So Tony and I we use 4 devices
Now,
when we run a show. So we both have our phones and we both use computers. So
yeah, Chromebook.
Chromebooks, but
Right now, yeah.
we use 4 devices to run our show. And I know second device is huge, actually. You did not use a second device, Donatella?
Wow.
Donna, that's crazy. With as much time as you're on, and wow, that's crazy.
So let's go then to the next level. I think for me personally, now you guys might disagree what the next level would be. For me, it is a big screen TV hooked up to my second device, because it makes it so much easier to read the chat, to see what's happening. I'm like, literally where I look, the camera is facing me. Right behind my camera is a big screen TV, which expands my chat. I can see clearly. I can read while I'm, for the most part, looking at the camera. I mean, it's as close to it
bifocals. So I take my glasses off so I can read the chat. But it also hinders me because inevitably somebody is asking for something specific on the table. And while we do random pulls, I can't see what the heck it is they're asking for on the table because I've chosen to take my glasses off. So we have used the big screen TV so I can read the chat from the TV and still be able to see it. So I like the TV, although we don't use it as much as we should.
Uh-oh. Did we lose?
Yeah,
And-
Noel's working on it. We'll just keep
And
talking. And
what a
and Noel
day
will
to
work
have
through
tech
that.
issues while we do a tech show. So welcome to the world of technology.
Do
So
we think
actually,
Noel purposefully sabotaged the tech just to be able to talk about it during the tech?
He's like, watch me do my wizardy work.
yes.
We're
So,
back. We're back on.
I do have to say, because yes, Southern Charm, don't we love technology? This is a downside of this. From a person who experiences this frequently, I am, let's use the phone type person. I understood when my husband came to me and said, we need to spice this up a bit, right? And I let him go for it. I said, okay, that's your department. You're going to handle all of that. Thus, it turned into 7 different cameras and 1,052 wires. It looks like a NASA Space Center over there. However, the number of times that I have started a show and people can't hear, people can't see, whatnot changes something on their end. Now, what we've programmed on our end isn't syncing up. It can be very frustrating to the point where always have your backup plan. We have made this kind of agreement of we try once, maybe twice. If it doesn't work, we go to a phone. I always have a phone and a tripod on standby now to switch immediately because it happened. So as much as the technology is really cool and can be a lot of fun, it could be very frustrating and not work. So
Okay.
Looks like we're back.
So now we've got phone, internet, ring light, or some kind of light. We've got a second device, and we've got a TV.
You're
What's
missing,
next?
You're
Before
missing,
before we say what's next,
you're missing something.
I would say before we say what's next, I'm going to just throw out here, Noel. This is not what you start with, right? We're talking about stages as you progress.
growth,
We are. I believe we are all in agreement that no one is saying you have to have all of this to start.
correct.
Start in stages, work with it, progress your technology if you want as you get bigger and can afford it.
Correct.
Okay,
And
what were you
one
gonna
of the
say,
things, one of the things that I think that you guys missed on your list is the a tripod, so you can put your phone on, because there's a big difference between having your phone in your hand that is very shaky as
100%.
you move,
Yes.
rather than
Phone
having it
stand.
stationary or a phone stand. Yes, some kind of device that is going to keep your phone or your camera stationary, so you don't have to be moving too much, and people are going to be getting sick or motion sick from all the movement. So that's another very key and important thing that sometimes is overlooked.
There are a good 2 handfuls of shows that I absolutely love going into. I love the people. I love hanging out in the room. I cannot stand that we're holding the phone.
And I'm
It's
going to say I
literally-
agree. I'm going to say not that I am a proponent for these type of shows, but they exist. So let's address them. If you are doing a scan show, get yourself a gimbal. They may be a little more pricier, but it's a tripod that you hold and you can move with that holds your phone steady. Absolute. I would say if you're going to base your business off of scan shows or even live selling type shows, some type of a gimbal device would be a necessity.
I will say I watched someone do a show where they were driving, and they were not using a gimbal. And I've done a show in the passenger seat where Tony was driving and constantly had problems with the phone shaking, and a gimbal was suggested to me. But then when I was talking to this person that was driving while running a whatnot show, I asked him how he was keeping his phone so steady, and he said it was all Android and built into Android for the anti-shake.
Wow.
I haven't figured that out yet because I follow the KISS method and I don't learn anything about technology.
So
Yeah, that was a rough ride when she was doing it in the car.
the newer cameras do have the some of them have intelligence, artificial intelligence already built in that allows you to stabilize the footage, so it doesn't create that much of an issue. But still, I mean, I've seen people that have some shows and they're running shows with the phone, and the phone is always like this. And so, to me, it's not just distracting, but it's very difficult to concentrate on the product. So, if you want to have a successful show and you're moving constantly, you can't concentrate on what you're looking at.
I'm going to agree with the tripod, but I do know a couple successful sellers on whatnot that use a glass to set their phone up in. And I fully admit Tony has done a podcast here with his phone sitting on a cardboard box because we forgot the tripod.
Yes, I have.
I mean, I think it's doable, but again, if I may be far over on the outlier here. If this is your business, if you're here to create an experience, make a profit, and make this the best that you can make it, there are some basic things that you probably should be on the top of your list to invest in. I think in a pinch, I mean, we all can like improvise in a pinch,
Yes.
but I'm going to go for the more, let's just write the check, get it out of the way, and get yourself set up for success.
But
But I can't afford the check.
But exactly. So if you're starting, and that kind of gave me a memory lane kind of thought. Duct tape, even duct tape. You laugh, but it's true.
Hey,
Duct tape fixes everything.
duct tape.
So, I mean, if you have something that you can duct tape the camera to, and that's it, and well, that's what you got. So, not even invest in something that is called gaffer's tape. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be, what are you talking about? Gaffer's tape is a type of tape that is very similar to duct tape. The only difference is that tape is designed to rip and not leave any traces of glue behind it. So you can put it on carpets, you can put a bunch of different things in a bunch of different places, including glass. And the minute that you rip it apart, there's no residual, any glue or anything left behind. So that's an investment too.
Gaffer's tape.
Gaffer's tape.
First tape.
The only problem I see with taping, and trust me, I'm old school, right? I have used duct tape for many things other than whatever it was intended for. But I think unless you're doing it, wrapping it around and using it double-sided on the back of your phone, it's going to impede your show.
Not if you have a second device.
Not if you have a second device, but a single device person, if you're strapping it on, I mean, one, if you do it at the top, it's going to impede any buttons at the top or the bottom, or in the middle, it's going to impede reading chat. So taping, be careful with what you're taping. I mean, you could do the little circle and double-side it on the back to something, but if you put it on the screen, it's going to impede a show.
I just want to make a statement about a second device really quick. Is that I know people just use the phone. I see some comments in there. It's like, I only use just one device. The only time I've ever used one device, when I go to run the items, I can't see my chat. I don't know if it's still like that, because it's been a long time since I've run on one device. But is it still like that? And I would think just that feature alone, that if I would go to open up an auction item, like to run an auction, it takes up the whole screen and I can't see what's happening. If that's going on for me, that alone is reason enough to get another
your
device.
scenario is different because you pre-list all your stuff and you're going into your auction tab. So you will not be able to see the chat while you're trying to load up pin your next item.
But on the random listings where you're just hitting run next,
You're just going
you
run
never.
next. Okay.
We always just run next.
Right.
It's one listing. I never leave the main screen except for giveaways.
So Ms. Donatella is talking about that she hasn't used her iPad and she might try it. Very interesting. I was during the summit that we had all the different breakout rooms. I was at the one of the breakout rooms where they're talking about technology, and the question that a lot of people had, a lot of the sellers that were there, was if I use my secondary device, I can't see the video. I don't know what I'm doing because I don't see anything. It's just blank. And so this happens a lot when you're using a phone and a tablet or two different phones. If you're using a phone and a tablet, what happens is only one is going to receive the video feed. So you have to choose. So the one that you're going to be broadcasting with is going to be the one that is going to take the feed, is going to show you the video. And the other one is going to be blank. Now, there is a workaround to do that, to be able to see the video on both devices. And that's one of the tricks that I mentioned at that meetup. If you create a secondary account and you use the feature for Teams, you can assign the administrative role for the secondary account. And the moment that you log on onto your tablet with the secondary account, you're going to get the video feed on both devices. Not only on the one that is transmitting, but also on the one that you're going to be able to run your shows. I mean, basically pin items and do everything else. But you have to be on the secondary account, on the secondary device, with the administrative privileges on.
To the main account that's actually streaming.
Correct.
There you
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
kind of
ma'am.
off topic, but have you guys seen, has anybody on Whatnot seen where it shows that someone is co-hosting, but it says co-hosting with, and the with is blank?
We just learned this week.
JJ Shopper just clued me into this.
Oh.
So you can, if you are, have you ever seen our Hidden Gem show?
Yes.
And it almost looks like she has a split screen like people use with OBS.
Mm-hmm.
Whatnot now allows you to mirror the browser on your computer and almost by like co-hosting yourself. I didn't know that.
Nope, that's
She
a new thing.
heard that on her show.
We actually talked all about that on one of our shows. I don't know when it first came out, like a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'd seen it. Over the last 3 or 4 days, I'd seen
Obviously, you're
people
not watching my shows,
co-hosting.
Lysandra.
But over the last 3 or 4 days, or the last week, I've seen 3 or 4 sellers who were co-hosting, and they were co-hosting with nobody because you know how if I co-host Tracy, I Love Discounts co-hosting Zoe's Treasures, but that co-hosting name was blank, and I was like, I've been trying to figure it out, and then because we're going to end up doing that show with JJ on all
The Hidden Gems.
Yeah, the Hidden Gems, and we were talking to her about it, and she clued us into it, and I'm like, well, that's new. I've never seen that. Let's figure that out. So
Yeah, it's
Obviously,
been-
Tony doesn't watch Zoe's Treasure shows either.
yeah, it's been
you're on too damn early for me.
for about 2 months already. And Ms. Donatella, yes, you can have another account. The only difference is that the other account, you can create them, or you can give them the privilege as a mod, but they cannot run items. So they cannot pin, they cannot run giveaways unless they have the seller or the administrative privilege. So
Yeah.
they can have a secondary device with their account and they can see the video, but they can't do anything in your show unless they have those permissions. So that's where the ability to have that secondary device with those permissions come in. Because if you're going to have one dedicated for a camera and you're not moving that, and you're going to read your chat and run your items on the second one, you can manipulate the second one in your hands, and you can run the items, pin the items, do everything on the secondary, and still get to see the video.
I want to make a comment
That's typically what I do. I just don't see the video.
Yeah.
I get everything else because I'm on the same account with both phones, so I never see the video. But really, it's more about just running the next item because I'll have the chat up on the screen.
That's correct, Millie.
The share screen feature too. So think about this, because we're talking about using technology to improve your shows, to kind of up the vibe and the mood in your shows. So if you're using that share screen, be creative. This is a really cool tool that you can use in so many different ways. Ray Train host, I think of CG Boomerang Echo and how she would hold her iPad up. Well, now she can share her screen. I don't know if she does or not, but
Correct.
she has that option
I haven't
to do
seen
it.
her do it yet.
But then also other ways. What if you are a slower, purposely slower, like a vintage decor storyteller? You're maybe doing a tour of France, and you have all these items from all over France, and you can bring up pictures of this is the region that this item was made in, or you can use it to enhance your shows in so many different ways. This is a feature that when Whatnot released it, I got really excited about it. I mean, I have my husband who can do all that stuff for me, but most people don't, and this is such a good tool to get creative, be unique, and set yourself apart. Doing trivia shows, maybe a Saturday night fun trivia show or a game show. So there's so many ways that you can utilize that to be different than the guy next to you. Because let's face it, if you're on a Saturday night, any night of the week nowadays, just about any time of the day, you're competing with 30, 40, 50 other people in most categories, if not more.
That's it.
So figure out the tools and the technology and how to make you just a little bit different and kind of create a little space for yourself.
Yeah.
That's correct, Tabitha. If you use the computer is basically running a browser, not necessarily on the app. And so the computer recognizes that it's not using the app, and that's the reason why you can see the video feed on the computer. We also use computers, and so the computer is connected to different cameras, and so it takes it as that's the primary device. And if I open the show on my phone, since it's computer and phone, I can see the video feed on both of them. So that's an advantage of using a computer.
I have not been able to experience that when I'm live on a show.
That's because we use Chromebooks, and they're considered a phone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Chromebooks still show as a blank screen. I have no video with the Chromebook. I've never actually tried it with a PC.
We'll run on. So just another way to use technology. Back in where our shipping area is, we have a tablet. It's a Windows-based tablet that we have there. And that actually shows if the video feed will go. So we'll pull that up back in our shipping room. So our shipper can have the show. And as I'm selling stuff, she's grabbing things. And if there's not a label, double checking, putting, what item it is, who it goes to. So she's already getting ahead on the shipping while I'm still selling because she has a screen and can watch a show and has access to all that shipping information. So there's multiple ways to think about how can I use technology to improve processes throughout my business, not just in a live show, but to make things more efficient.
Yes, and so with the tier system, you were talking about the bare minimum, which was recapping the phone, your light, and a good internet connection, your
second
stand,
device.
your stand or your tripod for your phone, and then that would be tier 1. And for your tier 2 would be all those things plus a secondary device. And if you wanna go to a tier 3, then you can add a microphone. And so it just so happens that, let me see if I can unplug it. So I have a little portable microphone right here, as you can see, and this is what we use to run the selling shows. And the reason why I like to use these for the selling shows, and you can see right there, there's the adapter and the two microphones. So the reason why I like these is because these are going to be, they're called lapel mics. And so you can clip them onto your lapel, and wherever you move, wherever you go, you're not going to have the diminished sound because you're turning your back in the camera. So if you just have the phone and you're running on the phone and then you do something like this, then you can barely hear what I'm saying until you come back around to the microphone or to the phone. So having one of these things, and they're very, very good. They're combos that you can connect to the phone. And the one that I use is this one to connect to the system. So this uses just a regular headphone jack, and it connects to the system that I use. And so once she turns around and she starts walking away, you can still capture very good quality sound. So that would be the next step up if you want to invest in another piece of equipment.
One caveat: don't mic yourself up with that microphone and then go around dancing on screen, because it doesn't work so well when you're dancing around like a hooligan.
And turn it off before you go to the restroom.
Always a good idea.
Advice. Yes.
Always a good idea.
That's my biggest fear right there. I always wear the mic. Usually in all my selling shows, I have a mic, and that is my biggest fear right there. Like I will literally take it off and leave it here so that there's no mistakes that happen.
We had several attempts before actually getting to a mic to be used properly. But we only did it for one actual show, because it shut Lysandra up.
It made me too nervous. It made me very self-aware of myself, and I literally stopped talking in the shows.
That was a very quiet show on her end.
It takes a bit to get used to. It really does. Wearing a microphone all the time, it really, I totally get what you're saying, because I was the same way. I was like afraid to talk too much, or can I take a drink of my water? Do they hear me like swallowing my water? Like, what can they hear? What can't they hear? It was a whole learning curve.
Yeah. So Tony cut the mic off really quick for us, and I was like, Tony, I just need to get used to it. And he's like, oh well, if that's it, and we've never brought it back.
So it's important to notice two things. So for example, this is the adapter for the phone, and this is the adapter for a regular 3.5 millimeter jack, a headphone jack. You notice the little circle on the top, that red circle, that happens to be the volume. This one doesn't have it. So the one for the phone doesn't have the volume, the other one does. So, and that's important to notice, because when you get a microphone, and like Lysandra experienced, if you put it too close to your throat, the volume on your voice is just going to go super high. And if you lower your chin and you start talking into it, it's going to be even worse. And like she noticed, every time you rub it, it's going to sound like crazy. So it's going to spike up. So it's important to know that it's not just having the microphone, but how to utilize it. You know, and some of them come with an app that you can regulate the sound, the level of the sound.
You'll notice in most of my shows, you'll see me start to go like this. It's because he's back there telling me to move my hair because it's hitting on the mic. So if you ever see me doing that, you know my husband's back there going like this to get my hair off the mic.
And Donatella, I signed I Love discounts up for a karaoke raid train, and I danced my little tushy off for the full 5 minutes.
Okay. Go for it.
I did before we get even more advanced, I did want to kind of backtrack a little bit to your phone. And I know we're going to get into cameras and all that fun stuff. One of the things that Jeremy is a huge proponent of, and it is a game changer if you're selling jewelry, is the wide angle lens and seller tools on your phone.
Which you only get with an iPhone.
You only get it with the iPhone, which is why I have an iPhone begrudgingly. But if you're the person that is sitting behind the camera and showing things in front of showing you're the hand model, that wide angle lens and turning on the seller tools and whatnot is huge. You can bring things like literally within a millimeter of your camera lens,
you can bring it,
and it never loses focus.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So with the advancement of technology, you can tell that initially that didn't exist neither for Android or iPhone, and little by little they started increasing the tools that are offered and at your disposal to be able to have a better show. So also on the iPhone you have the face camera, which allows you to have not only the product angle, but if you have your phone sitting like this, so your back camera is looking at your product, and then the front facing camera, which is on the opposite side, it will be facing you. So you can do both of them on the iPhone as well. That came out a couple, I think probably, if I'm not mistaken, like a year later after we started running the shows. So that's another good addition.
And all great points. I do have to say, as somebody who doesn't operate any of the equipment, somebody who is very low tech, if you were like me in any way, shape, or form, practice, do a private show and practice with this. I could never get the hang of the zoom in, zoom out feature on the iPhone. It's one of the many reasons we no longer sell jewelry. I would get so frustrated trying to get it just right that any technology obviously goes without saying. Do a private show, practice, 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 particularly if you're over in my category of I need a little extra help when it comes to technology.
Absolutely, Tabitha. Also, as Tabitha is pointing out, if you have a secondary device, make sure you mute that secondary device, because otherwise you're going to get feedback, and that echo is not very fun.
I don't typically go to the restroom during the show. I just wait. Unless Lysandra's there and she can relieve me. You focus for 5 hours, and well, when your show's over, you get up and run. But
jump and run.
Yeah, well, it is. Sometimes.
Very well trained.
I was just going to go back to something. I find it amazing. We're sitting here talking about it, and do I think that I could have run our total show on one phone this whole time and do it? Yeah, probably. Is it easier and more convenient to have multiple devices? Yeah. But Donatella is literally saying she's ever only used one device, and I know that woman has sold over 70,000 items on this app, and she's only ever used one device. So
I honestly couldn't tell. And most of the time, I feel like with most sellers, you only using one device, you can tell. It's typically the shaking of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the shake.
I'm pretty impressed, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to make a point that we've talked a lot about technology in the sense of how does it improve your shows? What should you use? Some of the features. The one word we hear throughout whatnot, I don't care what seller support show you go into, the one word you're going to hear over and over again is the word consistency, and technology can aid in your consistency. I travel at least 1 week a month, and we rarely ever miss a show when I'm traveling. Not only because, my husband sets me up for success and sends me with a suitcase of equipment so I can do mobile shows.
135.
But if you have your phone, you could do just about anything and keep your consistency. It's not this like you've got to go to a 9 to 5 and I'm going to go on vacation or I've got to go somewhere. You can still keep those shows going. You can keep that connection, which the technology now, I mean, obviously that allows us to do that. But it's not just to have a good show, but it's also for the business side of it and maintaining that connection, maintaining that consistency, maintaining that,
Yep.
your anchor show at least once a week, same day, same time type of things, that it's still doable. It's not this, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I got to miss this or I got to miss that. I have seen sellers too that maybe they have to miss their show. They have a scheduled show and their doctor's appointment ran late. I've seen them pop on from their car and do a, 15, 20-minute seller chat type thing in lieu of a show just to remain and be there when their people expected them to be there. So think about
Yep.
the also technology, not in efficiencies and systems, but in how to keep up the consistency side of it too.
So we've been talking a lot about Whatnot. We're talking about that's the platform that most of us run in. But there are other platforms that are emergent, like eBay Live. And talking to Jeremy a couple of weeks ago, he was mentioning that one of the things that he disliked was that in order for you to be able to do the live on eBay, the phone, and I think this is where his dislike came from, was that the phone was just a camera. And he was so used to running everything from the phone that probably that was a little bit challenging to having to use a secondary device like the computer to augment that and to be able to run the different items. I don't know. I haven't tested it out. The one that we did test out was District in his beginnings. And one of the things that I noticed from District in terms of technology was, in order for you to start the show and use a secondary device, regardless what it was, you had to start the show with your phone and then transfer the show into the computer, which was a little clunky. It was a little difficult to come to terms to that. You had to start the show on the phone the whole entire time, every single time. I don't know if they changed. We haven't run a show
It's been a long time since
in a
we
long time.
tried it. Yeah.
I've been corrected, and I'm going to set the record straight. I quoted a number for Donatella at over 70,000. Well, I was somewhat correct. It was over 70,000. Donna says she sold over 100, and Millicent says that she sold 135,000
Wow.
items on Whatnot. I know
That's
it's something
amazing.
crazy, and to sit here and be able to do that on one phone, never a second, just grabbing your phone and literally just selling stuff is impressive. I'm sorry, Donna. I didn't mean to shortchange you by half. I love you.
So I know for the remainder of the talk, I'm going to be a little bit lost and kind of learning right along with you guys, because once we get past the TV and the second device and all that fun stuff, and the ring light, I
Yeah, we're both kind of out of the
out of it.
advanced technological stuff
And this is
got going on.
and this is where Noelle's going to shine.
100%.
I hope I don't get everybody lost or bored. But yeah, so talking about the TV, nowadays the newer TVs, you hide the cords, right? The new and that's what I was going with, Millicent. The newer TVs, you can connect them to your internet, to your Wi-Fi, and in most cases with your phone, if it's an iPhone, and in some cases if you have a Samsung TV with a Samsung phone, you can mirror the phone to the TV. So if you have like a Fire TV, you can do that with your iPhone. If you have a Samsung TV, you can do that with your Samsung phone. And that allows you to not only see what you see on your phone, but also see it on the big screen. And it's a lot easier to be able to read the chat and to be able to interact with people. The only thing, just a couple. The only thing is that because everything is through wireless, not only the TV is connected wirelessly to your internet, but your phone is connecting to your internet and wirelessly to the TV, there's a lag. So you're not going to see the chat populating at the same time as it's populating on your phone in some cases. And it's not a terrible lag, but it's a lag that you might be able to notice. Interestingly enough, one of our good friends, Ranch Hand Finds, Miss Marie, she was asking us, well, how can I prevent that from happening? So one of the things that you can do, since you already have the initial setup, which is your phone, your tripod, or your iPhone stand, what you can do is you can connect an adapter that goes from the connector for your phone to an HDMI converter. And then you can run an HDMI cable directly into your TV, thus not having to utilize the wireless feature. And that is going to take away all the lag. It's going to be in real time. Whatever you see on your phone is going to be coming up on your TV, and there's no better way to run it. Now, the only caveat that I was mentioning to them is that once you plug in that adapter into your phone, there's no secondary port for your phone to be able to be connected to the charge. So if you're running a long show, 4 or 5 hours, and you're thinking about, well, now I'm powering the phone, the screen, the audio and all that, your battery is going to consume rather quickly. So that's where the other part comes in, which is a MagSafe or wireless charger. And I don't know if you can grab it. It's right over there, the one that we use for the jewelry. So what I did was I adapted a wireless charger that serves the purpose of charging the phone through the MagSafe, and at the same time I can connect the remainder HDMI directly through the port. So I believe Tony has one of those too. This is a little bit different because I didn't like the base. The base that came with it was too flimsy and too light, and so it would flip, and it would tend to fall. So what I did was I put in a GPS base with a suction cup, and I just rigged it completely. So it's a little bit different. But
Wait, we can charge our phone through the tripod you gave us?
yes, there's a little USB port on the back of the tripod that you plug in the cable to. And in that actual tripod that you have not only charges your phone, but it cools your phone as well.
Never knew that.
Yeah, so there's a little switch on the top that has 3 positions. So no cast iron.
She's like, let me go look.
Yeah, no cast iron. I'm not following Jeremy's footsteps. Sorry.
That's
But yeah,
funny.
I'd
you
like
can
to
charge
know-
wirelessly that the phone through that stand, and it also has a feature where you click it, and it does the cooling and the charging at the same time.
I will do a little more research on the phone stand after this podcast.
The hint: the box came with instructions.
I'm a guy. I don't read
Read the
instructions.
instructions.
Yeah. I've not read instructions in 40 years.
So anyway,
What were you going to say, Tracy? Sorry.
I'm just was going to ask for everybody that's here, if you have like, what are your biggest technology like challenges or anything along those lines? Feel free to throw it in the chat and we can try to address it. But just in case we're not hitting on topics that
Cords.
you have questions
Cords.
about. Yeah, if somebody has a solution to cords, please come and talk to my husband. That's like begging for help right there.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
Yeah.
has anybody seen his setup and all the cords?
If anybody thinks they have a cord problem, Noel, dear God, please show it on screen.
Let me see if I can manage
See
to.
if he can show you Command Central
move-
here. It's a
to
little
move this.
crazy.
Hold on one second. Let me see if
It's
I
May
can
the Lord's
move it.
Day.
I
When-
don't want to.
when we
get
do
anybody
whatnot shows,
sick.
he could just switch over to his phone and we can walk around with the phone. But I don't know what he has set
Miss
up here.
Kate, you know what I'll do is I'm gonna send you a photo over DM, and I'll send you the photo of the stand. It'll have the name, because I can't share the link, but I'll send you the DM with the photo so you can put it on Amazon, and you can find it on Amazon.
Actually,
It's
Why,
rather
I-
inexpensive.
why don't you just put the link to the phone stand in the comments of this podcast?
Give me 1 second. Let me
That's
see.
a great idea. But you don't have to do it right this second. We can.
No,
It-
not right this second.
I didn't even know it did all that cool stuff, and we've used it since Noah gave it to us because it's just a good ass phone stand.
and that was when we went to Pennsylvania.
So that's a few
Yeah.
months back. Yeah, that's been a bit.
Several months back. Several.
When did we go to Pennsylvania?
All
Was
right.
it was
So
before the rabbit show?
I don't know what he's doing over
November,
there. He's working on
October.
setting up to show you guys his command center there.
No, I'm looking for
I'm-
the link. I
Yes,
already
well,
got it.
again, we can do the link.
I
after
can't believe the
show.
damn phone stand plugs in and charges the phone and cools the phone. I'm dumbfounded right now.
All right, so I'm gonna put the link on the chat. So if anybody's interested, that's the phone stand. Oops, it says that it's got way too many.
Right, Kate?
Actually, I feel like I knew it cooled because that's the reason. Because he also gave Jeremy one. Because Jeremy has the problems with his
It's
phone
not
overheating in the
overheating.
warehouse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we have been lucky that in our warehouse we ran our shows in our office, which was air conditioned, and the same at our store now that we don't have the warehouse.
Yeah.
So we've never had the overheating issues.
I have literally never had an overheated phone issue on Whatnot. Never once. Even with using the seller tools and the ultra wide lens with the iPhone, I have never once had an overheating issue. It's crazy. Even when we did shows on the road and we didn't have the AC.
It all depends also on the conditions that you run on the phone. A lot of people,
Yeah.
they like to have the screen super bright, and having the
Yeah.
screen all the way to the top in brightness not only is going to consume your battery, is also going to
Yeah.
overheat your phone.
Yeah. Which is why I typically keep it down.
Maybe that's why you can't see the chat.
Well, there's the link in case anybody's interested.
Let's go with that's the reason. We'll go with that's the reason why I can't see the chat. Yeah.
And let me see if I can get the so you can see the chords. Millicents, close your eyes.
Yeah. Don't watch.
Did you take a Xanax, Millicent?
Don't watch Millie. It's gonna
I'm
be
right
shocked.
there. Oh, I'm right there with you, Millie. The chords drive me absolutely insane. We have our studio is really just a curtained off part of our basement, and he has his half of the
Come on,
studio, and I have my half. So let's see what he's doing here.
There's the nightmare.
Yes, that's his little command. His little, I say little. This is a command central. Go slower. You're gonna make people get sick.
Crazy.
All right, back to putting it where it belongs. And if you can see, that's right now pointing at Tracy. That's our green screen. So, whoops, too close. There it is.
It's just a couple chords.
It's just a couple of chords. That's right. So the
I don't know how you keep them all straight. Like, what are you gonna do if Tracy finally gets a cat?
and that's one of the reasons why there's no cat. So the interesting part is it's wiring everything, and so getting everything because, and you were mentioning it, we no longer utilize OBS, and the reason why we don't use OBS is not because it's not helpful, is because I was asking too much of the computer that was running OBS to be able to do everything I wanted to do. And so if I want to run the green screen, then I need to put a camera with the green screen and another camera for the product, and then another camera for the top, and another camera for the black box, etc., etc. So if we keep adding more and more and more equipment, the computer eventually, if it doesn't have a lot of, if it's not very beefed up, if it doesn't have a lot of memory, if the CPU is not very good, the processing unit, if the graphics card is not very good, then that's when the computer starts failing. And so I experienced that the computer was responding, but then it started becoming very sluggish. And that's one of the reasons why I decided that I was going to start using the other part of the equipment. And so in this case, it helps me. I have what I call multiple points of failure. So if the sound doesn't work, I know what could be wrong. It's just the sound. My soundboard might be having issues. Last show we had issues with the sound because instead of pushing the mute button for the unmute for one channel, I pushed the other one, and so it was not coming.
Oh, so it was your fault the last show didn't go right.
Yes, it was my fault.
Okay.
It was I unmuted the wrong channel. So
You pressed the wrong button.
wrong
How many
button,
buttons
correct.
do you have?
Oh,
I have a lot.
he has a lot. I wanted to answer Tabitha's, it's not really a question, but just address what Tabitha said in the chat there. I think part of what you're referring to, like, okay, the issue that you're having, to me, we're now like advanced level in your technology. Some people might think that the color of your walls and the color of your furniture that you use, that has nothing to do with technology, but actually it does. So if we start getting way up there and you're in the advanced stuff now, white actually reflects too much light. So you want to look for colors. That's one of the reasons when we don't have a green screen, my walls are a deep dark blue, because then we can control the lighting better with a darker background of a wall. So starting to think of the other elements around you. It's one of the same reasons we don't use white or very light colored furniture in our studio, is because it reflects too much light and we have more control over what's happening with our lighting and our cameras. And our furniture and our wall colors are specifically picked out for those purposes. So again, very high, a lot higher level as you get up there. But as you're designing your studio or your whatnot space, whatever that space may be, things such as furniture color, wall color start to play into the overall perception and how you control the lighting on your items.
Also,
I could just see you.
Go ahead.
I could just see you and Noah at the hardware store picking out paint colors, and you'd be like, "Oh, I like this, honey," and he's like, "That doesn't diffuse enough light."
Pretty much. That's pretty much. If it was up to me, I would have all white furniture. I would have very old, kind of chippy white, farmhousey, antique-y looking background. That would be my ideal. And when I described that to him, he's like, "That's not going to work. It's not going to work for lighting."
No.
And it was it was a few weeks of a conversation to get to a point where we agreed on what it was going to look like.
Ms. Donatella, the computer that I was using to run OBS when we started, it's a Macintosh 2012, a MacBook Pro. So, yeah, it's over 10 years old, and it runs. It still runs a very old version, but it runs. And so, depending on what computer you have, 10 years, you might be looking into probably switch it to a new one. And then Tracy will come in and speak a little bit more about the technology part and how can you use it for a deductible expense for your business. But if it's running okay, then, but 10 years is pushing a little bit, and I was already at that little caveat on ours. And that's the reason why I bought a new one. So we have a little bit. Hello, Miss Guy.
I am not I'm not ashamed to say that any of our back end computers, and this is about ready to change because of personal things that have happened, but I buy refurbished computers from Walmart. They're like $200. Will they run OBS and all the graphics? No, but for a shipping computer, they work perfectly fine.
Yep.
The other thing that I was going to mention to Tabitha was what color is your ceiling? Because if your ceiling is white, one of the tricks that I use for the lights is I point the light to the ceiling, and I use the ceiling as the diffuser. So what happens is the light is so close to the ceiling that it spreads the light throughout the whole entire studio.
Yeah.
So,
we have 2 big lights that face upwards to our white ceiling.
So that's what you can do. So don't turn on your fan lights, leave them off. And what you can do is you can get, they sell kits that come with 2 lights with stands and diffusers that you can point up. And they're about 50 watts each one of the lights. And with 2 is more than enough. So you can point them up, and that's going to be great. So let me.
Noel offered.
Go ahead.
To set up a studio.
Oh dear Lord, no.
That's gonna happen.
No, but I think for my next show, I'm gonna take the light that's above the desk and I'm gonna turn it the other way and face it towards the ceiling and see if that helps with the diffusing.
Let me see if I can.
I'm pretty sure we've learned just as much
Yeah.
as anybody.
Lighting alone, I've learned a little bit that I'm gonna do some things.
So
Look, Tony is taking notes today.
You can see a little bit on how that light is pointing up. You can see one panel light right there, and then you can see behind it there's a black triangle, and that black triangle is the light that is pointing up to the ceiling. So, and then Tracy's back, so I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
The pillowcase on the ring light would help. If it's too close to the ring light,
For those of you
it's still
who don't
gonna
know
transfer through. So let me see. I'll look for the link and then I'll put it on the chat. The echo that I have, yes, it is a feature, Moon Sky. I have a soundboard.
Yeah.
And this soundboard has a little bit of effects. And then what I did was when CG comes into our shows, that's what I use. And so the soundboard remembers.
Is everybody
the
still
setting.
seeing us okay?
I can't see Lysandra.
Sorry,
Lysandra
Noel.
is yeah, it's paused.
That's weird.
There she is. She's back.
Some of the other more basic built-in features, I say basic, it's great built-in features that Whatnot has, if you just don't happen to be aware of them, that you can utilize to take your show to the next level, set yourself apart. They do have, what is it called, the camera in camera, where you'll see if you come into our shows, Noel puts me in the little bubble up on the corner of our screen when we're showing a product, when we're using one of our other cameras. So what are you doing on, I just see the stuff going all over the place. Whatnot has that feature, the camera in camera, where you can use that. And that's a great feature where it actually uses your front and your back camera at the same time, and you can switch what's happening. So you could be showing jewelry and have it show your face. So you're getting that person to person connection with your face and still have your jewelry front and center or whatever little thing you have. So things like that. There's a few other features. I don't know if you guys know any off the top of your head that you use, but I've seen that one used really effectively by a couple of sellers.
All right, I'm gonna throw in the chat the link for the lights.
And hey, look, for everybody out there who is still paying attention to us, I'm taking notes too. Here's my little list of things to try. Just saying. I've learned some stuff tonight too.
Oh my gosh, Tabitha, the iPhone. I'm not an iPhone fan at all. I don't even know if anybody can hear me, but I'm not an iPhone. I love my Android. I use an Android every day. And still, it's my day-to-day phone. And we bought an iPhone specifically for whatnot, and we'll never use an Android again.
Not on purpose. We've had to use it accidentally a couple of times, but that iPhone is primarily our whatnot vehicle right now.
You're the only Android user in your family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatnot, iPhone is the way to go. 100%. I don't care what you're selling.
Everything's frozen on my end. I apologize, guys. I don't know what's going on with their stuff.
Check your Wi-Fi. Maybe it dropped you.
No.
Because Tony's
Noel.
is good. Yes.
So if some
Yeah, we're on the same Wi-Fi.
it's there. Noel,
You're halfway back.
if someone is wanting to go beyond just their basic phone and the features already embedded into the app, where would you suggest they start?
So we're talking about computers, and I was talking to Aaron from the Aaron Sphere, and he's interested in utilizing OBS. So as a seller, obviously, you want to maximize the usage of your equipment, and also you don't want to break the bank. I mean, I remember before we came here to Pennsylvania, one of my coworkers had recently purchased one of the top tier Macintosh, and the budget for that computer was over $50,000. So you don't need $50,000 worth of computer to be able to run your shows. And what we've been talking with Aaron is to utilize the MacBook Neo, the brand new one that just came out, and that computer is about $599, I believe, or if you have a student discount, it might be $499, and it runs OBS. From the testings that I've seen, it's enough. Like I said before, when you start adding more and more stuff to it, it's going to bog down the computer if you don't have enough memory or processing power. But for a whatnot show, if you keep it, like Lysandra said, if you keep it simple, it'll work. It won't be too much of an issue. So that's one of the things that I would suggest. The next step up would be getting a computer if you want to run OBS on the computer. Since you already have a secondary device monitoring your show, you can utilize it to run OBS. And then, so now your show would be run through OBS from the computer, and you can connect the phone as a camera. The Macintosh, the Apples, are very good nowadays with the new software updates. You can connect the phone wirelessly as a camera, and the computer will pick it up as an external camera. If you have something different, like Tony and Lysander have Chromebooks, I am not too sure. I haven't played with the Chromebooks that much in order to run OBS. It's just about the specifics.
No.
So I have a question for those of us who don't like Apple products. God forbid, yes, I just said that, and will not use a Mac. Can you do everything you're doing that you're talking about on a Windows computer?
Yes, you can.
Thank
Yes, you can. Windows computers are a little bit more flexible in terms of all the different things that you can interconnect with them. You can actually even build your own, which is great. And you, like I said, you don't need a lot of expensive components to be able to run your show. So one of the computer that we use to run our show, it costs $5.99. So that's a very inexpensive computer when you put it like that, and it allows me to run a bunch of different things. So that would be the next step if you're looking into increasing a little bit more on your show, OBS and a computer. What computer would you like to use? That depends on what is it that is your preference. I like Macintosh because they're very easy to use, even though my wife fights with them constantly.
I hate them. I hate them with the passion. My iPad has turned into a glorified way to watch movies on an airplane. The only thing it's good for. And I will stand by that comment over and over again.
Right, Donatella? Yeah. iPhone all the way. Yes. And I tried Android, and I'm a developer, and yes, no, definitely iPhone instead of Android. I'm sorry for those Android lovers. Now, I was telling you about the multiple points of failure, and Millicent was kind of curious about it. So I have a soundboard. That's where all the music, the audio is going through. So Tracy's microphone is connected to the soundboard. That particular microphone that she's using, it's a wireless microphone. It's very similar to the one that I have right now. The only difference is the one that I have right now is not wireless. So they're the same brand. It's just a little bit different. The ones that she has is wireless. Mine is not. Those two mics are going into the soundboard. And then Lysandra and Tony, I'm sending the audio also to the soundboard. So if I push a button, I can just pretty much negate the audio for everybody. Kind of like that. So
it's
also
pretty cool when that intro video is playing for you guys. Noel has us muted for you, so we're still talking on our end while you guys are watching the intro video.
Yeah, and also the music. If I want to put, for example, for our show, I use music. So the music is played through a computer and is fed directly into the soundboard. So I can very easily control the volume of the music and control the volume of the microphones. So in this case, for example, if I control the microphone on my end and I start lowering it down, you can see how it kind of loses the volume. And I can control it so I don't yell at you. And the same thing with Tracy. So I can mute Tracy, I can mute Lysandra independently.
So speaking of music, I think this is a point that could apply to everybody, whether you're using your phone or a computer, however you're running. When you're doing your lives, it's another form of technology is the music. We run it through a royalty. There you go, right there. Thank you, Tony. Royalty-free music only. We run ours through a computer. So 2 points.
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, absolutely. I was about to get there. I have 2 main points on music. The first one, royalty free. Just don't even do it to yourselves, particularly if you are multicasting. YouTube, Facebook will kick you off. It's going to be useless. Why multicast using music that you don't own? Your videos aren't going to get shown anyways. So, and it's against terms of service. It's also illegal to do. So don't ask Alexa to be playing music in your background. I know everybody does it, but just because everybody does something doesn't make it right for you. So royalty free, I'll get off that kick. But then the other side of it, obviously I prefer the way we do music because the music comes through nice and clear. But think about how that music, like you need to go back and rewatch your shows and listen to it and hear how your music comes across. I can almost always instantly tell you if somebody's using an Alexa device for their music. It sounds very not choppy, but the staticky, like it's not good audio. Like it's bad audio. And then they turn it up even louder to compensate for the bad audio. And then you're yelling over your music that's not good to begin with. And it's like, is that really the environment that you want to create for your
We've
show?
we've done
So,
exactly that, Trace. Exactly that. The music couldn't be heard by everybody in the room. Lysandra would turn it up louder, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we can hear it now." But now I'm yelling over the music because I think I have to, and you don't. You can just talk normal, but it drives me crazy.
yes.
And eventually, I just told her, "Turn that crap off."
So
Actually, Millicent, it was a comment from you that got me thinking, like,
Yeah.
well, why are we playing music? Now, for my ADHD and shows, I need it.
Yes.
So now we just play it more quietly so the audience can't hear it, but I can to keep my energy up.
And then that way it doesn't have to be royalty free. If it's not being heard
Yep.
on the live, you can listen to whatever gets you going and helps you through your show, and you don't have any problem with it.
so
Oh, my beautiful wife tried that royalty-free music twice.
Tony won't do it.
I won't. It almost put me to sleep.
So I have a question, and this isn't so much technology, but this is about the music. So if you're a bar owner, you can buy the rights to play music in your bar, and it's honestly not crazy expensive.
Yep.
And it's all dependent on the size of your business. Could you do the same thing for your whatnot shows?
No.
And then would that suffice for YouTube and when you're multicasting?
No, because the way it works is what they do on the bars is they're paying for a subscription to play the music in the bar. And so they're not streaming the music live somewhere else. And if they were, they would incur the same property rights violation that anybody would. Now, the caveat on that is that in order for you to get in trouble, in real trouble, the agent or representative or the record label or the artist itself, they have to report you or they have to sue you to basically prevent you from playing their music. What is the likelihood of that happening? Let me tell you, there's been instances where there are multi-million-dollar lawsuits, and yes, you can lose your house if they do that. Do you want to do that? I mean, that's a question. Would you be open for that to happen? Quite honestly, I wouldn't.
So
I've been doing this for a long time, and that's one of the issues that we had, the playing or utilizing copyrighted music on any product, any video product. Now, the technology part, and sorry, let me make this point. When you have the speaker in the background playing music for you and your audience can hear it, what happens with your phone is your phone microphone is fighting for two sound sources, your voice and the speaker. And so when you're quiet, the speaker picks up. But then when you start talking, the microphone gets confused and it doesn't know which one needs to be heard. And so it's going to raise the volume on your end, and that sounds like you're yelling at people. And so and also when that happens, the music in the background is going to get all distorted. So that's the technology side of it.
I wanted to make a point, just getting away from the legality of royalty-free music. There's a reason. A lot of what I talk about, if you come to my shows, you hear me relate what we do here and whatnot to brick and mortar. You go into just about any brick and mortar store and they're playing some type of music, usually. There's reason for the music that they pick out. So you start thinking about the psychology behind the music. A lot of people on Whatnot think the music's for them. It's, well, I like to sell the music, or I like country music, so everybody who comes to my show is going to like country music. Music is picked in brick and mortar specifically for the mood it creates, or what there's different psychological things that happen with different music. Jazz music actually increases sales. That is why there is a lot of places that play very low key jazz music, because it has been shown to increase the amount of money that people spend. Why we play jazz music in most of our shows. So there's a psychology behind it too. So if you start thinking about, just get away from the legality and how it's going to sound, the music isn't about you, it's about the experience you're creating and what the ultimate outcome is. So you kind of want, it sets that mood that's happening in your show. So you want to think about that too.
And Tabitha's making a good point in terms of the licensing.
Yeah.
So that's a very good comment. And yes, you can obtain the license to do that. It's going to be expensive because, yes, like she says, it depends on the songs and the artists that you're going to play. So you have to keep up with the amount of different songs that you're willing to play and the artists that you're willing to play. And each artist, depending on how famous they are, they might have a little more of a steep cost. So, and yes,
And I wonder if Whatnot would accept that CCLI license at this point. I don't even know that they're set up to accept that, to exclude one seller over another as far as playing copyrighted music.
it's not like that. I mean, obviously, you can play it if you have the license. Then what happens if something comes into question, you can show them your license. You can email them your license, and that will take care of the legality of it. Same thing for YouTube. If YouTube is questioning the legality of you being able to broadcast that music, if you have that license, you can upload that license into YouTube, and that will take care of it. They will take the strike out of your account, and nothing will ever happen. It has happened to me before, where they tell me, "Well,
I don't-
this is copyrighted," and I go and upload the license into YouTube, and they are like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
We've had a couple of our videos on Facebook come back with messages that we would not earn the monetization on it because of the copyrighted. I don't think it was on YouTube. It was on
It
Facebook.
was on Facebook. We actually lost monetization on our reels for a year on Facebook due to copyrighted music.
Yep.
It's not something to play with. I mean, and it's all
And
over
there-
Whatnot. I mean, you go anywhere and you're going to hear people playing copyrighted music.
Yeah.
But
But there was no options to upload a license or
Yeah, you could appeal it. I assume that would be how you.
on the appeal. Yeah, maybe you could upload it on the appeal.
So
Yeah.
for you
Okay.
guys to
Okay. Strike that on me.
To get a glimpse of what it sounds like, just so you know, Tony and Lysandra, they have their devices muted, so they won't be able to hear this, but the audience will. So the moment that I unmute the music, let me see. I want to make sure it's the right one. And you can hear how crisp that sounds. And I can lower the volume. And completely mute it. So that's the way we run the music. And it's, like Tony pointed out, it's royalty free. Royalty free means that there's no licensing required, and we can play and broadcast the music without any issues.
And almost every streaming service out there has a royalty-free option, just about every streaming service. But, and then we go back to, I really like Tony and Lysandra's idea. If you are playing it for you, to get you in the mood, in the spirit of selling, to help pump you up, do what they do. Just play it low enough so you get your benefit out of it, but the audience doesn't hear it.
Or you can also
Or an earbud.
pair your earbuds to your Bluetooth speaker and or Alexa, and that way you can do it. And Tabata, yes, I run it through the soundboard. That's why it's so crisp, and so you don't hear the sound of the microphone fighting over it. I can up the volume of the music and lower it, and there's no fighting between them.
And you want to think too, one of the things we want is for our buyers to feel comfortable and not confused. So have you ever gone into a room and you're like going in for vintage decor or modern day contemporary clothing, and then you're hearing like country music in the background. You're like, this, am I in a country bar? Am I, what am I doing here? So kind of thinking completely from your buyer's perspective too on your choices of music, if it makes sense for what you're selling and what's happening in your room, because it could be very confusing from a buyer's perspective.
And so for the next year, we already talked about computers. Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say just two quick things. One, if you do like we do with the music and just have it in the background where no one can hear it, be prepared for random singing to just happen. Just be prepared for that. And secondly, believe it or not, it's 8:20. We have 10 minutes.
Wow, that went fast tonight.
I know. So, but I'm just throwing it out there for the sake of time. We can run over if everybody wants or anybody wants, or however. We're not locked into the 8:30. I'm just giving a heads up.
Lori made a good point. She's left shows because of the music, and it just made me think of, that explicit button that you can turn on and off for your shows. Maybe you don't say explicit words, but maybe your music is. So that just kind of went through my head when I saw that. I'm like, oh, I've never really thought about that a lot since, we're very conscious
I've left
about
shows
our music,
because of music.
Yeah.
I've left shows because of music. 100%.
Yeah. If it's too loud, if
don't
it's
think-
just blasting and it's not good, like, I'm not even talking about like good, like my taste in music, but it's that fuzziness coming through. I can't, sensory wise to me, I can't stay in there. I can't handle it.
No, I've had like I've gone into like card or coin shows or whatever where they're using OBS and the music is so loud that I have to leave. Or I have left because of poor choices of music for the masses.
There is a mute button, right? You can mute the volume on shows.
Yes, and you can also put the closed
Did
captions
you not
on
know that?
Yes, but half the fun is potentially seeing a train wreck.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and so continuing with the tier, because I want to address another topic that I think is very important in terms of the technology. The way we use, and I was telling everybody about the multiple points of failure. I use 3 video switchers. Each one of the videos, 2 video switchers utilize 8 inputs. So those 8 inputs, one of them is dedicated just for cameras, and the other one is dedicated for the special effects. So if I run hearts, if I run different special effects on our shows, that's one video switcher that is in charge of running those special effects. And if I switch cameras, I switch the cameras directly on the other switcher, and that allows me to connect up to 8 cameras on one. I have a special one that I can go ahead and put cameras on the fly, and I can mirror my phone directly to it, and then I can have a wireless camera that way.
That is cool, Millicent, but I would agree. Now I'm a rule follower. I mean, you're gonna, if I find out something I'm doing is against terms of service and I wasn't aware, I'm changing it instantly. That's me though. So
Yeah.
And then for my final point, and taking a couple of questions if we have time, I want to read something that I found very interesting in terms of the algorithms, because everybody talks about algorithms, and algorithms is technology. So
100%.
in the e-commerce industry, companies are utilizing artificial intelligence to extract valuable customer insights by analyzing patterns and customer behavior, data, and feedback. So for those of you who are asking, well, how do I get more people on my shows? How do I do this? I am very sure that the algorithm that Whatnot utilizes is very similar or has inherited some of the features from Facebook that allows them to capture your past behaviors in order for them to be able to continue showing you what is it that is supposed to be your interests. And so it's very interest driven. If I tap the hearts on the screen and if I running giveaways might help, but it's not definitely the all and be all. So if you have an engaging chat, if people are chit-chatting, are talking, are constantly saying something in your room, that is probably going to be a lot better than if you're running constant giveaways. That's one. The other one would be also the selling constantly and having that constant sell. That's also going to drive a lot of interest in the algorithm. It's going to pinpoint those behaviors and highlight them.
Mm-hmm. I just want to point out 1 hour and 55 minutes into the show, and I just realized that Noel named his little picture thing as Wizard.
Oh my gosh, me too. I just realized that.
Oh my gosh!
I just realized. I just pointed it out to Lysandra.
Like the first thing I noticed.
And you probably
So
did it.
I will say, we're talking about technology, right? So when we do this podcast, everything for you guys is like 20 seconds delayed. And we actually are talking kind of like on a phone, and there's everybody's pictures on my phone, like, I don't even know what you call it. Face chat, I think, is what Noel
FaceTime.
uses, FaceTime. And anyway, so we typically don't actually watch the screen that you guys see in the podcast.
No, we have to have a second or third device. We're using two phones to stream independently with Noel, but we're on a Chromebook watching the live and seeing the delay just so we can keep up with chat because we can't keep it up on the phone.
And same for my side here. So in front of me is my big screen TV, and I'm seeing what all of you are seeing at home, which is a delay to us. Good 20 to 30 second delay. But then over here to my left, I have an iPad where I am seeing Tony, Lysandra, and if Jeremy's here, Jeremy, all in real time. So they're talking here, but what I'm seeing is whatever they were doing 20 seconds ago in front of me.
Yep.
So it's pretty
And I can't do that.
Yeah.
I cannot watch the podcast stream at all. It drives me nuts. I just talk to the side of Tracy's face for the
'cause
whole
they
2
see
hours
right
every
from my
Sunday.
iPad.
And I'm doing the stream on an Android with FaceTime, so mine is always frozen. So I never get to really talk to anybody live. I am literally staring at a frozen screen every single week. That's why
Now,
you'll catch me
Tony,
glimpsing off to the side.
That's
when
Android
we-
for you.
When we were traveling, I couldn't see anybody either. It was a frozen screen the whole time. So I felt like I was on a radio podcast versus,
Right.
and it was so
Yep.
weird. I didn't like it. I was like, afterwards, I'm like, I don't like that. I need to see the movement.
I am in that situation with every podcast. So we just put Tony in the room and let him think he's still on the podcast. That's okay. Put the baby in the corner.
And going further.
All right, 828.
Going further, I mean, technology is basically all you make of it, and
Correct.
there's so much out there to use and have fun with. At some point, I was curious as to, I have a drone, and can I fly the drone, and whatever the drone is filming, can I send it to the screen? And so I started playing around with it, and I got to the point where I can fly my drone and I can feed the video from the drone directly into the podcast too. So that's also kind of interesting, and
That's cool.
and
That is
it
interesting.
gives another opportunity, a different perspective, kind of what you do and what you see on the football programs, on the programs that they play football. I also have a keyboard here on my side, and that's what I use to play some of the animations. But it's a replay keyboard, which allows me to go back in time and replay live something that I can choose to. So I can go back and replay a part of the video that we actually creating on live.
I want to bring some reality to the situation, though. From the person who is live in front of the camera, there is a fine line and a fine balance to technology. Not all technology is good technology. It is a constant compromise in how much technology do we use in a show. He would play videos nonstop, and I'm like, no, I don't like it. There's too many commercials. We'll play one, and that's it. Or so there's a little bit of give and take, and you've really got to consider the end user. You've got to consider what is it like for the experience for the buyer, and that's kind of always forefront in my mind. Where, Noel is like more, and I'm like, well, let's wait here. So there's a give and take in everything.
Absolutely, Donatella.
I'm excited. I finally figured out a graphic I want you to create for Tuesday's show, Noel.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds good.
There we go.
Let me know. And before I say goodbye, let me play the introduction video for those who came in a little late. So it's a little long.
Watch it. It's good.
It's a little long. It's about 3 minutes long. So, but I think it was pretty worth it.
And we'll end with the video. So don't forget to hit the like button. Check out this video where he's going to play for you. And we'll see you all next week.
All right. Give me 1 second, guys.
Bye.
Today's episode, we will start a little different. Hold on to that idea. Be different. Good evening, everyone. Since the beginning of human history, one thing has always driven us forward: the desire to communicate. From the earliest cave paintings to spoken language, from smoke signals and hieroglyphics to letters carried by pigeons, humanity has continuously searched for better ways to connect with one another. Over time, those methods evolved into the telephone, cellular networks, satellite communications, and now the rapidly expanding world of artificial intelligence. Now, how does this apply to your live selling business, you may ask? Technology has never simply been about machines. It has been about bringing people closer together, sharing ideas faster, and expanding what is possible. And if history has taught us anything, it is that innovation never truly stops. As we stand at the edge of new technological breakthroughs, we are once again challenged to imagine how communication will continue to evolve in the future. Today, we see this evolution happening in real time through online live selling platforms. Commerce is no longer limited to physical stores or even traditional websites. Sellers and buyers now interact instantly through live video, chat, auctions, and digital communities that create a more personal and interactive shopping experience. Platforms like Whatnot, eBay, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, TikTok Shop, and District are transforming the way people buy, sell, and communicate across the world. What makes these platforms so powerful is not just the technology itself, but the human connection behind it. A seller can present an item live to thousands of viewers, answer questions instantly, build trust, create entertainment, and close sales within seconds, something that would have seemed impossible just a few decades ago. These emerging technologies are blending communication, community, entertainment, and commerce into a single experience, and they continue to evolve every day. As new platforms emerge and artificial intelligence becomes more integrated into these systems, the future of live commerce will likely become even faster, smarter, and more interactive. The question is no longer whether technology will continue to change communication and business. It is how prepared we are to adapt and grow alongside it.